Point.
Good man. So you want to start maybe with the pitching wedge? Just I'll line you up on that 150 out there, okay? I've got quite a strong breeze off the right hand side, okay, so obviously that's a factor.
You want me to do full shots or?
You just need to start with just some 3/4 ones just to get the line on it more than anything. Try and maybe hit that red and white board there.
Yeah. That was a win. Good strike.
Yeah.
So the pitch shots, I'm just aiming a wee bit left with my feet and just opening body up a bit and just.
That was nice. That was nice.
I think we worked on that, didn't we? We just with the aiming a bit more left for these little half shots just to.
Keep the face open as you turn through. Nice. I've got your camera right in my camera line there. Will you have a bit to the side there? You're just 6 8 inches there, that's perfect.
Good there.
Quite like that. Quite like the way you're moving through the ball there.
Yeah.
Keeping the face, keeping everything on, holding it off a wee bit, not getting too kind of flashy.
Yeah, I've been working really hard on that.
Yeah. Pass, you can see the pass is fairly neutral. You know, you're not really cutting across it or anything, you're just coming down. So you're basically coming through fairly neutral, turning the body, keeping the club face under control, and just kind of forward.
And that's been working quite nicely for me, like rather than hitting a full gap wedge or sand iron, just just a half shot with a pitching wedge.
I think with the short game, from inside like 120, you've got to be good at taking distance off shots.
Yeah.
Because especially in this country, we've been playing a lot of wind. The effective shot is often flighting it down a wee bit.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want. If you played in America with no wind, you could argue you could just blast it up into the clouds. But I think in this country, often a wee bit of a lower flighted wedge coming in is going to be more under control. You know.
And that's what I've started to graduate a little bit more towards. Just take a club or two
On the
more.
left side a wee bit, so you're staying over the top of it a wee bit more. That's good. Yeah, we talked about kind of staying centred on it, didn't we? Not letting yourself shift off it as much.
Yeah.
Which is a good thought for you, I think.
Those are all pretty consistent.
Yeah, I would say they look all right. That's good. You can see there, if you watch this on the screen there, I've just got a wee video shot of you here. So we don't want a lot of shifting left on this shot. We want you to start off and we want you to stay fairly centred. You see that there? So there's not a lot of loading up onto that right side, and then you're there. Then all you have to really concentrate on is just your rotation through the ball. You see that there? Looking from down the line. This is you from down the line here. Good. Nice setup. Golf club's coming in from a really nice position there. We've got a good and a really nice delivery position there. All we've got to really do now is keep the body turning, keep the face square, and then turn through to that nice finish. So good, excellent. And then I think the big thing with your wedges can often be rather than the strike, it can often be just distance control. You know, knowing how to hit. If you've got a number in your head like 95 or 85, is getting really good at hitting that number.
Yeah.
Rather than, you know, you try to hit 95 and you end up hitting 103 and you're like 30 odd feet past the hole or something like that.
Yeah, that's it. Just, you know, it's knowing what I'm hitting with these in terms of like a clock face or whatever, you know.
That's it.
Try and hit the sign.
And that, I would say that takes practice as well, you know, to actually come up and devote some practice just to hitting your numbers,
Yeah,
you know, and working on hitting distances rather than always constantly working on technique.
yeah.
Want to try something a wee bit longer?
Yeah.
7 iron?
Mm-hmm. So M.O.T for that is a pass then?
Yeah, I like that.
That's a pass.
And would you say your wedge play generally has been alright?
My smaller chip slash pitches are still. I've actually put the lob wedge away just because I just want to work on just simplifying 2 wedges just because.
So you mean smaller inside 30 yards or so?
Aye.
Well, that's a different technique altogether,
Yeah.
and that's kind of greenside stuff. What we were looking at there was more full out,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
distance wedges. Okay.
So you just do a grip check.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Like I've went from I think I've got a bit fingery and it's like actually feeling this more.
Okay. Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah.
Right, 7 iron, same line, just down to 150. What shot you try to see here?
Fade.
Like fade, you gonna hold it up?
I'm just gonna. I don't need to try and turn it over. I just let it. I just. I'm not really trying to hold it off. I'm just swinging through it. Like that.
Nice. This one should just a wee bit in front of that.
Yeah.
I've got a camera there just in front.
What that was the wind or a.
Well, that's your
Face
shot.
angle.
That's your shot there. Okay. So if I take away, if I show you what it would have done without the wind, that's it there. So it was a fairly neutral shot, to be fair. That's a lot of the time. That's the wind. That was the wind. That's what you hit there. Okay. I think when you
Club
get
path and face matched up, so
yeah, I think when you get a wind as strong as that, even though you're fading it, sometimes you might actually have to leave it right at the target because you've always got to allow for the wind to bring it back. You know what I'm saying? Because it is, I mean, it is blowing out there a fair wee bit across and right to left today. Okay. We'll try a couple more.
I like the strike.
See where you are on the face. Yeah, bang on it. ball position should still feel fairly central in your stance, hands a wee bit in front. Don't want to get too far forward in your stance with the ball. I like it kind of near the middle of that club.
So that's good then.
Yeah, don't want it too far forward. Not bad. Not bad. You don't look like you're hitting that big flappy shot left nearly as much. Would that be a fair comment?
No, it's
That was always quite a destructive one for you, wasn't it? Just
yeah. Well, remember we realised that I was setting up with my face angle not square,
slightly closed, yeah.
and then I was then trying to release more, which meant it was like that.
That's it.
That was the one.
That's it.
I don't do that anymore.
The good thing is you can do it at will as well, can't you?
Yeah, I know what. Yeah, so I know what's wrong, and I know. Yeah, take that out. But it's nice, and it feels like I'm holding. I'm not. So I'm thinking my main thing is the we did the impact, but it's like I'm.
Yeah, it's a wee bit like that. So if you if you think with your irons, because you're a little bit guilty of maybe sometimes getting a wee bit hands behind the ball at impact with your irons. You know what I mean? It's because you're a little bit guilty of being a wee bit that way at times with your irons. I think if you do this properly, you're feeling off, coming into the back of the ball, and as you say, making sure the body kind of leads. You can really get that. You can get a much stronger impact there. You see where we're coming from? So that we're hitting that. Yes, we're holding it off, but we're not holding it off by trying to manipulate it with the hands. We're holding it off by getting the body really turning through into that strong impact. Okay, go for a couple of wee taps there, just like that. So set it up, just club just maybe 6 inches up there, and then just take it back to about waist height, and then just feel that. So stick that club in. What you should get a good feeling there. Okay, take it back again. You should get a feeling that when you're coming in from there, you should get a really good feeling in moving, getting the big muscles and then turned into. Feel that there? That's it. That's a good feeling. That's a good feeling for you. Okay. So with a bit, if we get lucky with that, we can maybe kill two birds with one stone. What we can do is we can take away that flashy hand action, but also maybe get a wee bit more forward shaft lean with your hands, which wouldn't be a bad thing. Get a bit more kind of compression into them, which would be a nice.
Should I still do a bit more of that then?
I'll just hit another one, just hit a nice one for me. So nice setup, ball in the middle, just keep doing what you're doing, visualise that very slight fade, just turn through. That sounded quite nice.
Ball flight's great.
Can you come?
This is all going swimmingly.
That was a lovely shot, wasn't it? So if you look at your numbers there, your club path was very neutral. Okay, that's the shot there. It was a wee bit of a fade without the wind, but you can see the wind kind of straightening it up. Here you are from face on. So what I quite like there is you've got the ball in the middle of your stance, you've got the hands just a little bit in front of the ball, which is nice. Okay, so here's our setup. We go back, that's our backswing, and as we come through we want to let the weight settle back on the left side. If we end up getting a little bit more forward, you can see you've got a little bit of forward shaft lean there, you see that there? So that's nice, we want that with your irons. Okay, there you go, and then if we keep the body turning, keep the club face neutral, we can keep that club face nice and square and take us through to the finish. Very nice. Very nice. Let's look at it from down the line. Here you are from down the line. So a good setup. Okay. Delivery is good. So you can see you're not coming over the top of it. You've dropped the club into a really nice position.
Yeah.
And then from there, like that. I like that club staying under that line there. You see that there? Everything rotating nicely through.
So I've stopped thinking too much about takeaway. I'm just thinking about returning it through path.
Yeah, we've always had that wee bit of a debate with you, haven't we? You sometimes would get.
But that take, I like that take. Does that not look? I mean, that's not too inside, is it?
No, exactly. And then the important thing is when you come down, is look at where you are there. That's what I've always said to you. That's the important thing there. You see, it's the delivery angle there. Okay, and I think the danger with you sometimes is if you get too backswing focused, is you lose all your feel for what you're trying to do through the ball with your strike. So
yeah,
I think all in all, that would be the perfect iron shot. So tick box on the irons as well. Now we've only got the driver.
2 out of 2 passed on the M.O.T lesson.
Okay, driver. How has your driver been generally?
Generally good. I put it down to 8 degrees, which gives me a little bit lower ball flight, but I was getting much more distance and roll out, and it wasn't, the apex wasn't as high, but I felt like it was getting more grunt to it, and so that's, I just noticed it on course, you know, there was a windy day and then I kept it to 8, and so you can tell me if you think that's a good idea or not. So I've currently got it 8 and I've got it on the fade setting because I really feel like it's the opposite with driver. I feel like I need to get that.
You can go ahead and release it more.
Release it.
Okay.
And when it's on the fade, I feel like I can confidently release it without the fear of it going left.
And the shot you're visualising with a driver?
It's just a baby fade.
Almost a neutral shot.
A neutral shot, yeah.
But coming in from the inside on it.
Well, I think I've still got a slightly negative path.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not trying to cut it, but I think, so I'm still imagining that noodle.
Good.
But I'm still going to end up probably with a negative 2 or 3 club path.
Lovely. Drop kick, you got the job done.
Centre clip face.
Come, let's have a look at that. So we got probably a wee bit of a toe hook there, you see that? So a little bit off the toe. The ball hit the toe of the club, so it probably accentuated a wee bit of the toe.
My club path's out too much there.
It's a wee bit minusy. Okay, it's a wee bit fadey. Let's just see what the overall numbers of angles are looking like. It's not bad there though, it's not bad. You see you actually get into quite a nice position at the top. Club's coming in from reasonable, decent angle. I think where you used to be in the old days, what, minus 14 was it? With the
13.
13
But I'm that's crept a bit too much left, so I could do a bit of work
always
on
remember,
that.
if you're thinking fade, you're always going to tend to move towards a minus club path. If you stood up and tried to just close your stance and hit a draw, you'll probably square that right off.
Right, so can we do a bit of work on that?
On you go. So just stand up and you can just mentally just close your stance, think about just letting it draw in a wee bit in that right to left wind there. Okay. There you go, so look at your club path there.
Just a couple of little words and he just sorts it. Look at that, just immediately.
That's it. Club path goes from -4 to basically neutral in the space of 2 seconds. You can see the difference with the driver swing. You maybe have a little bit more lateral on the driver swing. We don't have a problem with that as long as we don't get too far on the outside of that right leg, and then from there, the good thing is you're nicely behind the ball and definitely not wanting a lot of forward shaft lean on this, you know. So what we're trying to feel is we're trying to feel this kind of line here, that your hands don't break in front of that line. So it's almost the opposite of what we're trying to do with the irons. We're almost trying to let that club catch up, square everything right back up to where it was at address, and then just kind of release it through. Okay. It's interesting, you're talking about trying to squeeze a wee bit more distance out your shots.
Yeah.
You know, in a situation where you've got a strong right to left wind on a golf course, it might be a good idea just for you almost just to aim it down the right and let the ball ride the wind. You know, if you fight the wind, a cut against a right to left wind, you are going to lose a wee bit of distance. Would that make sense? So sometimes I think,
I just feel like there's some easy club head speed that I'm missing. I feel like, you know, on court, I mean that's 99. Once I'm warm, it's normally about 103 on course, but I just feel like
I don't think that's too bad. I think if you wanted club head speed, I think that's something I would probably look at more from a training thing in the winter. You know, it's more a kind of physical training stuff. I think at the moment, I think as long as you're doing everything we can do to maximise the speed, like, you know, good weight shift, full turn, good release through the ball. I'm not convinced I would go chasing it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if I gave you 4 mile an hour right now, 4 mile an hour, and pick your ball up and put it 15 yards further down the fairway, many shots around is that going to save you?
1, 2.
It's not going to be a lot, is it? You know what I mean? And that's assuming
Assuming centre face.
That's assuming that with that extra 4 mile an hour, you're going to be just as accurate.
Yeah.
You know, it's more a macho thing, the old club head speed. Yes, I mean, don't get me wrong, if you were saying to me I want to play on the European Tour, I would say you probably would have to gain a good 10 plus mile an hour club head speed, but at the end of the day, you know.
But if I had 10, if I had say I had 8 to 10, I know that I would be lowering my score for it. That's significant because you're talking, you know,
it's not an easy thing to get though, to be fair, and still keep the technique absolutely nailed at the same time.
So there's nothing that you can say to me that will give me some easy club head speed that I'm missing in my swing. In terms of getting that club head.
I think the important thing would be ball speed. You're making sure that you've got club head speed. You're sticking onto them, you know, out the middle of the club face and getting really good distance off it. No, I think that would be a fairly unfruitful journey for us to start taking at the moment. I would just settle for middle of the fairway with a good solid hit. I think you've come so far that you've just got to be careful that you don't, in an effort to go that extra, you don't take a turn off and start going down a dark alley. That might be a winter project for you with your speed sticks and your training regime, and you say, right, okay, I'm going to do my training regime here over the winter. I'm going to see if I can get my baseline up a wee bit, which is what a lot of the best players are doing. They're keeping it almost separate from their. The reason a lot of the top boys are so successful with their speed stuff is their technique is so good. Somebody like Max Fitzpatrick can stand up and just absolutely muller the ball, but he's not going to lose his technique. I think the danger sometimes with a lot of amateurs is they try to throw themselves at it. The technique can go all over the place.
I'll try and really get after it. Because you look at like Justin Thomas, there's nothing to him. Like he's got no muscle.
Trains like hell though. Trains like hell. You know, he's in the gym all the time. Just full turn. On you go. There you go, you're up to 102 there.
I know, well, I went after that a little bit. So if I'm really trying to swing out my boots.
It's interesting you drew that a wee bit more though.
That's the problem if I go after one like that.
And that might be the danger, you see, is you just lose control of what you're doing. Okay. So you get out towards the toe of the club a wee bit there, Craig. You see that there?
Yeah.
Starting to get a wee bit hooky on that one. So just nice and under control. Come in from the inside. There you go. There you go. Beautiful. And by the way, if you're honest with yourself, if you're talking about playing that guy in the match play, if your putting had been at his level, you would have been giving him a pretty close game. So maybe the quicker way for you to do it is to just get better with your shot view.
So with this, I'm feeling like I'm.
I
a bit
think
more, but
certainly,
it's not the reality, but it's.
I think for you, if you know, it wouldn't be a problem for you to feel a little bit more of a draw type swing
Yeah,
in the driver.
because I think I've crept a little bit into safety where I'm just aiming left and just.
Yeah, and then the danger is, of course, you hold it off too much and you end up sort of.
See, and there's a 4.4, so I think I've been creeping towards that. So I need to. This is where the end.
So just come back here. So just visualise with that wind. Visualise the ball starting just inside the letter F and just coming back on the wind onto the 200. Okay. So you're setting up. There you go. You might close your stance a wee bit. The club's coming in from that nice inside position. And just smack it up the backside of the ball. Just hit it, you know, we know that with the driver, if we can keep it, you go into the club path there. So you see very quickly we can take you to the inside with that club path. Let me see that there. So your club path's gone positive just by mentally thinking slight draw on the golf shot. That make sense?
Yeah.
You see you've dropped that right foot back a wee bit. Nicely on the inside. Boom. And we talked about the last time we saw you, we talked about golf being like, for you, maybe being a bit of a two swing game, whereas you've maybe got your swing with your driver and your swing with your wedges and your irons, and it might feel like a different swing.
Yeah.
You know, you say with the irons back in the stance, holding it off,
Yeah.
forward shaft lean, with the driver more forward, a little bit more release, so you're early releasing it, and
just feel like I'm swinging out a little bit
feel like
more.
you're hitting a wee draw. Yeah, just feel like you're hitting a wee draw, or certainly not a cut. Okay.
Right, let's put that together. So just a wee bit.
Just a wee bit.
Closed.
That's it. The club path was quite neutral there.
Zero.
Yeah.
Face, was the face left open?
Slightly open, slight off the
Right.
That's it.
So I can release aggressively there then.
Yeah, and you've got your club on fade, so
Yeah.
you can probably feel that you're releasing that a little bit of the ball now. Yeah, you can probably be a bit more carefree with your release at the ball. Remember that wee swish stick I gave you?
Yeah.
How you were kind of going for it a little bit more.
Well, I think that's what I like to feel like I can release it aggressively because that does keep my speed up and feels like I can release it aggressively, but I'm not going to be hitting it left.
I'd agree with that. That's good. That's good. Obviously, you have to. Fields can change. You have to stay on top of it. Okay, so for you, if you were standing up and you were trying to release it and you were turning it over too much, then you maybe got to go easy on that one. Okay. Alright, we're going to finish on.
Just a little tweak there then, isn't it? Just bring the foot back a slight bit and just don't feel like I'm swinging left.
There you go. Whew. There you go. Very good. So what's interesting there is the shot you visualise can often change your swing. You know?
Yeah, that's just a night. It was just a tweak on driver. I think I was just creeping a bit left with my path, and
it's interesting. That's your longest one there as well. You see that?
Absolutely, yeah.
What popped out there. So if you look at the strike on that, very central. Very good. That's a thing you've really improved as well. Remember, for a while you were way off centre on a lot of your drives. With your balance, you were catching off your heel a lot, weren't you?
Yeah.
You're a lot. You're generally catching it a lot more solid with your impact on a lot of these drives is good. You see that? Every
Very
one of
much,
these drives,
yeah.
They're all very close to the centre of the club.
Yeah.
Which is good. So that's always a good place to start from.
And I'm just lining up centre, and
Yeah.
I'm not coming back off the ball or lining it up off the toe or heel. I'm just lining it up there.
Exactly. So I'd say you're exactly where you want to be at this time of the year, right in the middle of the season. You're playing well. Just go out and enjoy your game and concentrate on scoring and concentrate on your short game being a wee bit better.
So a little driver tweak, but apart from that, game's in good nick. M.O.T. Pass.